Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk about today EVE Online. My name is Hassan Sultan Marzouki, and I'm going to be talking to you about EVE Online and explain everything about it. So, the starters, EVE Online is a multiplayer online game that's based in the future. It's sci-fi, and it's based in thousands of years from our date. The game has expanded over the years and is considered one of the pioneers in the gaming industry of ways of how it explains things and try to imitate real life. What is EVE Online? As I told you, it's an online game, multiplayer, sci-fi universe, but I'm sure you want to hear about getting into the point about the game and talking about it. So I'll just get directly to it. Now, for starters, I'll be talking about the market. Now, the market is not something simple as most games have. It's actually a complex, player-driven market. It's very dynamic, and it's based totally on the players. The players are the market in the game. Everything's spawning from manufacturing, the most low-tech to the highest tech and the gear in the game is actually based on what the players price it. And as you can see, prices go up and down throughout the time, depending on whether the materials actually arrive in time, whether materials are available and are actually being produced, or is there a shortage in materials. So everything is actually into the game. It's counted in and affects everything. It's like the butterfly effect. It affects all the players in the game. The prices go up, things get expensive. So to the next slide, I'll show you the blueprints. Now, in EVE, there's over 5,000 blueprints of things to manufacture in the game. Now, you're required to mine asteroid belts and gather the minerals and all the materials needed to actually manufacture these. And once you manufacture, you can put it up to sale on any price you want, but it depends. Like I said, it's a dynamic market. So if you put your price high and there's somebody else selling it for low, you're not going to get it sold. So you have to be competitive with your prices as well, like the real market in the world. And you can actually manufacture from components for ships to all the way to the next generation of technology that is prototype and that. But it requires a lot of work, and some manufacturing does not take, it takes only a couple of minutes to do. Some actually take a month. That's how long it could take to build something. Up to a month takes you to build a ship. It could take weeks to build the components, and it takes months to gather the material to build some oversized ships that are considered the next generation of warfare. Now, as you can see, the items in the game are amazingly over 7,000 items in the game. From electronic parts, components, to ship models and starbase components, where you can build actually a starbase to own a territory in the space in the game. So many of the things that you can see here, like from the railgun weapons, there's also a prototype, there's also low-tech technology, there's actually as well second-tech technology, which are more expensive, but provide better damage or better, it's more like you're better equipped. Now, just to demonstrate just how the market actually kind of changes in ups and downs, this is a Templar, which is a shuttle. And as you can see, the price, it goes high sometimes and it comes down and high, depending on its, the manufacturers and the sellers who actually put the trade on. Now, this is the front screen of the game as soon as you log in and start playing. First, you get your, on the left side is the game's AUI, is the buttons. As you can see, you have your character sheet, people and places, EVE Mail. There's even a mail system in the game. There's fittings where you can fit your ships with the models that you have. The market, science and industry, where you can construct things and manage your planets, manage your POSes, which are player-owned stations. And the map of the game actually has over 700 systems and 800 systems that you can conquer by yourself with a corporation. And it's not owned by anybody. You can do whatever you want in there and own the market by doing it as well. And you have your assets, corporations. In EVE, corporations are considered to be something actually important. They play the biggest role in the game. You can be a lone person playing alone and trying to conquer everything, but you can't. You need other people. This is why the game drives you to socialize. This is why the game drives you to be with somebody, work as a team to conquer things, to do things that normally you yourself cannot do. Other people might like it, will help you, and try to achieve the same goal all together. And you have your wallet. Of course, in the game, instead of dollars or euros, we use ISK as the currency in the game. And since the market here is futuristic, it's considered more mature than our own. It's done by millions. So your calculations and everything, there's no 5,000. It's all done in millions, billions. So the game actually has its own, very own calculator, just to calculate all that stuff. Because you're going to be crunching a lot of numbers in this game. And it drives you to actually try to want to learn more, grab a piece of paper and actually start writing it. Because it's not something simple that just by clicking you buy and manufacture. You actually have to sit down, plan how you're going to trade, plan how you're going to build this, what's the profit from this one, what's the profit of that one, and how you're going to build it and how long it's going to take you, and actually manage your profit and the time consuming, how much time it takes for you to do certain things. So the game actually drives you to become more into it, more trying to grasp the sandbox by your hand. Not simply just following like the sheep. You're trying to lead and take your step in the game and try to find yourself and how to figure out the ways you can gain things. And also the game has its own channel, voice over internet, where you can talk to other players, communicate and strategize your plans, and together share ideas and help each other. There's also an in-game browser, just in case, because the game takes forever to do many things, so you tend to spend most of your time on the game online, so you could browse the internet or check things. You don't have to leave the game. You're in the game and browsing. There's also accessories, which has the calculator and the other items, notebooks, things you can write down, all that. The help button is basically the game's way of trying to ease up the tension of you when you start joining. It may help you in ways, but it's more of a self-driven learning in the game. It takes players months to learn the game before they can actually start making money or actually start doing something they actually enjoy, because it's really difficult and the learning curves are very hard. There's also a skill queue. In most games, you have a level up system, which you gather XP, experience points, and you level up. And this game is different. They don't use that. They actually use a skill book, which you train it, real-time time. You train it with the skills, and you level it up. Say you want to train for flying a battle cruiser. How long do you think it's going to take you? In most games, it takes you 5 hours. Gather the stuff and use it. In this game, it takes actually 2.5 weeks to fly a battle cruiser. And there's also a class of Titan, the biggest ships in the game, and it takes around 1 month and 4 days to actually train to fly one. And not to mention the other skills you need to train to use the models, use its other aspects, and improving it. So the game actually takes years for most players to actually start to gather money, start to build their empire, start to make profit in their game in the ways they are introduced. And the game, it's not only about market and that's it. There's also player versus player, militia office, which is factional warfare. You can fight other factions, join the fight, and defending your own faction and other that. So the game is more open to everywhere. It's in manufacturing, industry, and warfare. It's in exploration as well. You can explore relics, ancient places, and space, and you can explore as well, explore anomalies in the game. This is the manufacturing sheet, and basically it tells you what the requirements for your mineral items you need to start manufacturing when you have your blueprints and the minerals. Now, titanium is one of the base minerals available, pyrite, and mexilon. Now, you're required to manufacture. You need a number of the minerals and the blueprint to manufacture. It takes 26 minutes to build one. So this is a shuttle. That's the most basic ship available, and it takes 26 minutes. And it takes the biggest ship to build a month and so. Now, as you can see, the Velspar, which is an ore, you refine it for minerals, which are used for manufacturing. As you can see, the buy orders, you can see the cells and everything. If you look at the prices and the quantity, you can see the prices are almost similar. They're all competitive. They're all trying to be the ones first to be sold, or trying to buy the first. Some of them actually put up prices to purchase. They put up better prices so that way they can be the first to have it and start their own business of manufacturing or reselling or trading through market hubs. Now this is the ship fitting system. Basically you have your empty slots where you can basically fit in all the modules you need. And depending on how you fit it and how you fix it, you optimize your ship either in defense or attack. So you can customize it any way you like, and it gives you whether the damage resistance and the DPS, damage per second, and it shows you exactly how many targets you can have, how fast your ship is, and what can you carry, which is the cargo bay and the drone bay. Now, the sandbox of Eve. Eve is not like your other games where you have choice to simply follow. In Eve, the game throws you right away into the world. You have no choice but to adapt, learn, and make your way. Now, the sandbox, as some of you may not know, is actually considered, picture yourself on the beach, and there's sand. You can take the sand and build anything you want. Castle, a car, shape it. So this is how the game is. You can be whatever you want in the game. Now, Eve stories, there's a few stories in the game that actually made headlines. That actually made, one of the universities actually made a research on the game's market because it was so uniquely dynamic by the player base. So Eve stories. Burn Jita. Jita is a trade hub, one of the biggest trade hubs. There was a few corporations, the biggest corporations in the game, decided that they would attack that station and try to make prices go up. That way they can get their profit from the stuff they're selling. So they marched with over 4,000 players towards the station and started attacking anybody who was there. Of course, there's police, but the number of people who lost their ships and lost their wealth was over 3,000 people. So it was a successful raid, basically. The Hulkageddon. Now, the Hulk is a mining barge, which is a ship that you mine asteroids, gather the ore, and sell the minerals or manufacture. A corporation of 8 corporations decided that to raise the prices on the ore, they would attack any mining ship. So they pretty much destroyed for a whole week over 300, I think, 300 ships of Hulks. So they end up taking the prices up on the ore, and manufacturing ships and all that end up being high. The biggest scam in the game was done by a man named Bob. He scammed 18 corporations into joining all their assets, money, and start building an empire of manufacturing, building the most biggest ships in the game, which led to one of the biggest mistakes they could trust. Because in corporations, it's the same basic corporations. There's a council, there's the head members who have controls of the shares. So he managed to trick people into opening more shares, and he bought all the shares and ended up being in control. He took everything, and if you count the stuff he took, it would be worth $45,000. Real $45,000. Because all the items are exchangeable to Plex, which is an item you can buy to increase your subscription for 1 month. Now, I will show you a video of the game.
They say you should dig 2 graves before embarking on a journey of revenge. That may be true in the real world, but not in EVE Online. In this universe, time is on your side to settle scores. This could be you, and you're about to become the victim of a brutal ambush. The attackers are with a notorious alliance. You're lured into a trap and then destroyed. But in EVE, death is a fresh start. You're reborn, and it's time for some payback. If you know anything, it's that alliances are held together by trust. You break that trust, you break the alliance. Those pirates were just one corporation among dozens under the same flag. Altogether, that's thousands of people. So you befriend one member, and then another. Soon you're invited to join them. The bad guys have no idea you're part of the team now. You start moving up the ranks. You're given privileged information, access to the Alliance war chest. They're counting on you for leadership. They've come to trust you. So now it's time to make a choice. You can keep building power, or you can take your revenge. The fate of an empire rests with you. The moment is yours. You decide to take it. Their wealth, their assets, even their territory. The heist is flawless. Without firing a single shot, you've brought an entire alliance to its knees. In just days, it falls to a rival. The decisions you made changed the entire map and the course of events for thousands of others. At every step in your journey, the outcome was always in motion. Because in EVE, your path is unscripted and your choices have meaning. They will make an impact. So what would you do with that kind of power? Play the game and find out for yourself. EVE Online. The universe is yours.